Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. If this is your first time with me, I'd like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet, and I help ambitious women plan for a balanced and successful life. Last month, I polled my audience with several topic ideas for a training, and since the reaction to all of the topics was so positive, I promised you guys that I would create a training on each of the topics. And so I'm continuing that series today with this training on money manifestation. It's been a really tough week or so for the economy in the US and across the globe. And I think that this is actually the perfect time to share this training because if you're anything like me, you have been like side-eyeing the news and rolling your eyes like so hard that they're about to pop out of your head. Economic times like this suck. I know I can't look at my investment accounts or else I'm going to have a nervous breakdown, but actually, that's the most horrible mindset to have right now if you're someone who wants to build their wealth. We might be entering a recession, but all a recession is a period of negative economic growth, typically driven by reduced spending due to low consumer confidence. Low consumer confidence. Let's focus in on that, meaning that consumers don't feel safe spending money, which is actually a reflection of a very negative mindset to be in. Now, I'm not saying that this training is going to reverse an oncoming recession. It would really have to go viral for that to happen. And I'm not saying that the solution to the economic issues right now is for us to spend money that we don't have, because that is never a good idea. But I think this is actually a really interesting time to learn how to control your mindset and outlook on money. And as a result, perhaps make some financial decisions out of hope and not fear, and attract some new opportunities with money that we didn't even realize were possible. Because you'd love more money, wouldn't you? No matter what it's for the good of your family, for you to spend on yourself, for you to invest, for you to donate, for you to start a business, to go back to school, to just have a cushion in an uncertain economic time, I think we can all agree that having a little extra money right now would be a good thing. So if you agree, I want you to say so in the comments, because the first step to getting what we want is to claim it. And perhaps you even know like how much money it is that you want or need right now. And if so, I want you to keep that amount in mind. If you feel like sharing it in the comments, that's totally okay. But if not, there's no pressure. I just think that we need to actually acknowledge what our goal is if we want to start working towards it. And I'll tell you all that for me, Q2 is usually the slowest time of the year for my business historically. And right now, I'd love some extra money. One, to invest in the stock market, because like the thing that we all know, but no one really talks much about, is that an economic downturn like this is actually a great time to invest because the market always goes on to outperform itself. Secondly, I'm planning a little trip in the fall time, and I'd love to have a little extra bucket of money set aside for that. I'm someone who prefers to like have things prepaid for instead of like putting them on my credit card and then paying them off after the fact. So those are going to be like my personal goals and my why for this lesson and training as well. Okay, so what is this training going to be? Essentially, I want to teach you all how to play a game with money, to train yourself and your nervous system to feel really confident and hopeful around money so that you can manifest more of it by way of actual dollars flowing in, to new opportunities, to earn money, or other forms of abundance that you could actually be attracting as well. Now, I know manifestation gets a bad name online. I know many of you in my community understand manifestation and that it's not magic or witchcraft. It's actually a psychological process that involves controlling your thoughts and emotions to regulate your nervous system and in turn adjust your personal energy towards the attainment of your goals without limits. So that statement was a lot, and we are going to come back to it in a minute to break it down. Now, I plan to teach you this game through a bit of a challenge. I'm going to lay out a material and energetic challenge for you so that you can make space for money to arrive. And this process is going to be loosely based on a money manifestation declutter that I did years ago. Actually, it was 5 years ago this month, because I think that we should harness this spring cleaning energy for something good. So I've essentially created a manifestation challenge with a series of like 10 beliefs that will change your relationship with money. And for each belief or affirmation, there is an activity for you to complete or a challenge for you to complete. Some of these activities are going to be one-time tasks, and others are going to be things that you will want to turn into habits in your life. The way that I see this, depending on when you are watching this training, you can challenge yourself to complete all of the challenge activities over a period of 10 days or over a month or even over the period of a quarter. But I would set some reasonable expectation for completing this list if I were you. Now, before we get to the list itself, let's go back to that statement that I made about what manifestation is so you understand what you are doing when you manifest money and you can feel confident that this is actually a reasonable process to undergo. So I said that manifestation is a psychological process that involves controlling your thoughts and emotions to regulate your nervous system and in turn adjust your personal energy towards the attainment of your goals without limits. What this means is first, that this isn't magic. This is a form of self-control, self-discipline, or self-mastery. You are going to control your mind, specifically the thoughts you think and the emotions that result from those thoughts. You have control of both of those things to a great extent. For example, right now, if I told you to think about a family member that you deeply love but who has passed, I bet that many of you would become a little bit sad at that thought. And if I told you to remember the best day of your life, right? The best thing that ever happened to you, as you thought about that, I bet many of you would become a little bit happier and you'd feel pride in yourself. And the more that you thought about it, the happier and prouder you would feel in this moment. That's because our thoughts generate a chemical response in our brain, and those chemicals elicit our emotions. Now, I'm not making this up. This is the cognitive behavioral therapy model, where thoughts become feelings, your feelings become actions, and your actions become your outcomes or your results. So when you have control of your thoughts, you control your emotions. Now, this doesn't mean that you have 100% control over your thoughts, because you probably don't. Weird things pop into our heads all of the time, but we do have a choice on whether or not we are going to keep that thought around longer than like the moment that it took to pop up. We can change our focus. We can choose the thoughts that we want to think. And when we choose to think better or more helpful thoughts, we elicit a better emotional response, which dominoes into our actions. Now, when it comes to money, you have a set of beliefs right now about money and the way that it works for you. Some of those thoughts might be helpful and some of them might be harmful. Let's dissect what this might look like. If you happen to have a belief in your mind that money is the root of all evil, first of all, you have to edit that because that's not an accurate quotation. In the Bible, it actually says, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." So it's not that money itself is the ultimate source of evil. It's that the love of money, also known as avarice or greed, which is actually one of the 7 deadly sins, that is a root of all kinds of evil. So that statement of money being the root of all evil, I think that many of us who grew up going to Sunday school might have that sort of limiting belief in their mind based off of an interpretation of a quote that is just often misquoted, unfortunately. But if you do think that money equals evil, that means that whenever you earn money or do something for money or you need money for something important, you are associating it with evil and you may feel negative, apprehensive, or even depressed about it because you tied that belief to a feeling that isn't positive. So then you are less likely to take positive action with money because you believe that money is bad. So let's try another example. Let's say that you believe that there is never enough money to make ends meet. That belief will elicit a feeling of helplessness around money, which is a negative feeling. And so 1 month when you do have some extra money, instead of putting it into a savings account or even investing it so that the money can earn more for you in the future, the most likely action that you will take is to spend the money. Actually, many times people who have this belief that there is never enough money end up being the people who unfortunately also experience a lot of like accidents or unexpected expenses that eat up their extra money. It's not a coincidence. You don't believe that you ever have enough money, and so you act in such a way that you end up attracting bad situations. And if you think that that is a coincidence, you should consider how auto insurance companies increase their rates for people who have a certain number of accidents. They know that the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior, and people who can't seem to make ends meet continue to do so even when they do increase their income. So that's also why most people who win the lottery end up with less money than they started with. It's not a coincidence, it's statistics. Okay, so once you start controlling your thoughts and feelings, you will actually start regulating your nervous system. So when you get into a place of being uncomfortable or sad or negative, you have the ability to control your thoughts and shift out of those feelings. This ultimately leads you to taking better actions. And because manifestation isn't magic, your actions are important because your actions or even inaction in situations will determine your results. Now, truthfully, it's not always completely obvious to us which actions are creating which outcomes. Sometimes there is a significant time delay before an outcome processes. So, for example, if you believe that there's never enough money and you choose not to set aside money from your paycheck into an employer 401k until you make more money, if you keep choosing inaction in that situation, you keep choosing to believe that there's never enough, then by the time that you go to retire, you will have no money to retire on. So a lot of times, I think we choose to believe that we are making a good decision in the moment and that later we will make a better decision. But truthfully, if you never fix the belief, you will never make the better decision and take the better action. It's so sad to me how many women I know didn't save for retirement because they thought they didn't have the money, many of which, honestly, have closets full of clothes and beautiful new furniture in their homes and take a vacation every year. So I know that for some people, when they say that they don't have enough, it isn't actually accurate. But because they never changed the belief, they ended up with the natural consequences of their actions over time. Had they challenged the belief and asked themselves how they could find a way to afford the investment, they could have regulated their nervous system around the decision and what it would mean for them to spend less in some areas so they could invest. Instead, the belief or thought was not helpful and it triggered emotions that dysregulated their nervous system, so they kept taking the wrong action, which led to the bad outcome. Okay, so that's the psychological process and aspect of manifestation. Learning to control your thoughts and feelings to regulate your nervous system and create better outcomes through your actions. Now, let's discuss what it means to adjust your personal energy towards the attainment of your goals without limits. What I mean by this is that when it comes to solving problems or achieving a specific goal, we often have a limited view of how to achieve a goal. And if that limited view is not aligned with our personal energy, meaning the time, resources, or focus that we have available to devote to the goal, then we won't take action. This is a very complicated way of saying something that I actually tell you guys all the time, which is that there's many ways to skin a cat. My mastermind sisters know that I have a love-hate relationship with that phrase, but it's true. There are often many ways to get a desired outcome, but oftentimes we limit ourselves to the ways that we know or the ways that we have seen other people do it in the past. So it's important to think outside the box when you're manifesting money because there are so many different ways that people can receive money. Look at the number of careers that are out there. And honestly, you and I don't even have an understanding of all the different career paths that exist. When I was younger, I used to think of my future career in terms of a few limited options. You can be a police officer, a nurse, a firefighter, a teacher. If you ask little kids what they want to be when they grow up, none of them are going to say genetic genealogist. I used to say archaeologist, and I was one of those rare weird kids for saying that. So of course, as I got older, I learned more about careers and job opportunities. In fact, I changed my focus in college and in my post-grad education plans because while I was in college, I learned about a career path that seemed more aligned with me that I didn't even know existed when I went into college. And then of course, I didn't even end up going into that field and eventually started my own business online that would not have been an option for my future career at the time when I was thinking about it, right? You get the point. We don't even understand the breadth of careers that are available to us in any given moment or even in the future. So our options are always limited to some extent. Taking the limits off our expectations opens us up to different possibilities, but we can't open ourselves up to possibilities when our thoughts and feelings are in a negative place. Creativity comes when we are an open channel, when we feel positive, confident, and hopeful. So, manifestation is a result of regulating your nervous system around new beliefs that open us up to unlimited possibilities. When we can identify what it is that we want and ask ourselves, what are all the possibilities? That's when we can find creative solutions that bring us our goal quicker and easier. So let's apply this to money. If you want to bring in more money right now, what are all of the ways that you can think of to do that? Go ahead, maybe pause the video and write some ideas down. Now, you might end up writing down a dozen things on your list, but I promise you that that is still a limited list. You might actually come up with many very good ideas, and if you execute them, you may get the money. But if you think that the only way that the money can come in is through one of the ways that you listed, you are blocking out even more abundance. So if you think money can only come through specific channels and you don't open your mind to greater possibilities that you aren't even aware of yet, then you will only take actions on the ways that you know and never take creative, inspired action that results in unexpected money coming into you. So your beliefs dictate your results. Your beliefs reflect the thoughts that trigger the feelings that inspire the actions that create your results. And if you have any questions or need any clarification, leave me a comment. But next, we are going to move into the beliefs and the actions that will help you to change your relationship with money so that you can start manifesting more of it. Okay, so here is the formal presentation part of our training today. 10 powerful money manifestation beliefs, a challenge that will rewire your relationship with money. Okay, so belief number 1 is I am worthy of money. Okay, so this is a belief that I want you to program into your mind. I am worthy of money. So the aspect of the challenge that I want you to do for this is to declutter your wardrobe. This means you could go ahead and do a season swap of your closet. That's something that I just did this week, right? Swapped out my winter clothes for like my spring clothes. You can go through and reorganize your clothing. I was also doing that. I was going through and like reorganizing and, taking care of like my dresser and things like that. And make space for abundance. So actually maybe get rid of some clothes if you have some extra things that you can donate or get rid of. So why are we going to be decluttering our wardrobe? Because the act of decluttering your wardrobe, right, is a symbolic act of you removing what no longer serves you, right? So that you can align with a future version of yourself, okay? So like on a very literal level here, if you're season swapping your clothes, you're doing that because the clothing in your closet no longer serves the season, right? So it no longer serves you. So by swapping your clothes to the new season, right, you are actually making room for, making space for, and seeing yourself as a different version of yourself, right, who is dressing for a change in weather, right? The same thing is true if you go through and reorganize your clothing, right? You are making your clothing more accessible for you as a better version of yourself in the future. Or if you need to go through and donate and get rid of things, you're actually letting go of things, making space in your closet, right, for future possibilities by letting go of the things that no longer serve you, right? So this declutter, right, is going to be a representation of you aligning yourself with your own sense of worth. And we're going to tie this to the belief that I am worthy of money. So of course, while you're doing this declutter, I want you to focus on this belief that as you're going through and doing the activity, as you're doing the challenge, I want you to repeat this to yourself. I want you to set this as your intention when you go through and take care of your wardrobe. Belief number 2 is I treat money with respect. Okay? So the challenge here is that I want you to clean out your wallet and your handbag. Right? So go ahead, grab your purse, right? Clean your purse out, clean your actual wallet out, organize your cards, any receipts, any cash that you have. tidy the money up, right? When you tidy your money up, you are tidying your energy around money. So treating money with respect starts with how you physically handle it. A messy wallet or a messy purse sends the message that you aren't intentional with your money. So take 5 minutes to organize it, right? Throw away receipts, sort through your cash, clean up your cards. When you honor your money in a physical sense, you start respecting it energetically. Belief number 3, I feel safe with money. So the challenge you have for this belief is to do mindset work. And you can do this any way that suits you. Write affirmations, keep a gratitude journal, anchor into safety and abundance, right, in your physical body, right? You could do that through like a guided meditation, right? Feeling safe with money begins internally. If money feels stressful or uncertain to you, your nervous system stays dysregulated. So use affirmations like, I am safe to receive. Or you could keep a gratitude journal, right, to start to train your brain to feel grounded with money. The more consistently you practice this, the more peace you'll associate with money. Okay, so this is one of those habits that you may want to do daily or do several times a week, right? This isn't just like a one-time thing, but I feel safe with money. Start doing mindset work. Belief number 4, I feel good about my relationship with money. So the challenge for this belief is to create a money vibes playlist and to listen to it, right? So I want you to put together a playlist of songs that make you feel empowered, confident, and abundant. So think about how music can completely shift your mood. If you want to feel good about money, you need to tap into emotions that reinforce abundance. So create a playlist that puts you in that like rich, confident, expansive headspace and listen to it daily. Maybe when you're getting ready in the morning, maybe while you're driving to work, or maybe when you're cooking dinner, right? Your body will learn through that repetition and that high feeling of emotion that music brings. So again, this is one of those challenges where you're going to create the playlist once, but you will hopefully use it on a daily basis to help bring your energy up, right? And especially if you have any moments where you're feeling low or feeling bad specifically about money, I would definitely go ahead and put that music on to help lift you back up. Belief number 5 is I make money in my sleep. Okay, so the challenge for this belief is to use sleep hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind around money. So I'm going to go ahead and actually leave you guys a guided sleep hypnosis for abundance down in the comments if you would like to see one of the ones that I use. But this is actually going to help you reprogram your mindset while you are sleeping. Now, I personally have these sleep headphones that I use at night that connect like through Bluetooth to like one of my devices so that I can listen to these. I'll leave you guys a link for the ones that I use down below as well. I would recommend something like that, but just having it on your phone and leaving your phone on your nightstand or like maybe like tucked next to your pillow at night, listening to this sort of hypnosis, right, will start to retrain your subconscious mind, right, while you're sleeping, right, which is something that's actually hard for us to access when we are awake. So we're doing some activities that are going to take care of our mindset while we're awake, like the daily mindset work, but then the sleep hypnosis will take care of you while you're sleeping and address the subconscious issues. Belief number 6 is that abundance is all around me. And so the challenge I have for this belief is to track moments of unexpected abundance. Okay, so what I want you to do here is to start a note on your phone or in your planner. And I want you to track every free gift, every discount, every opportunity, every sort of like lucky break that you get. Most of us really don't notice the small ways that abundance is already flowing into our lives. So when you start tracking these like unexpected blessings, like finding $1 on the street or getting, free lunch while you're at work one day, or, you find a coupon code for something that you were going to buy and pay, full price. This is money or savings that you did not expect. This is unexpected abundance. So when you start tracking this, you actually start training your brain and your mind to see how abundant your life already is. And that mindset is only going to open the door for more. So belief number 6 is abundance is all around me, and you're going to challenge yourself to actually start tracking moments where abundance shows up for you. Belief number 7 is I spend money in ways that support my well-being. And the challenge for this one is to use a gratitude mantra or intention when you spend money. So every time you spend money, I want you to say something like, I'm grateful that this is improving my life, or this purchase, this bill, this expense is an investment in my best life. Spending does not have to be scary. When you shift into gratitude as you spend, you actually change your emotional tone in that moment. So if you say these sorts of like gratitude statements, right? Like I'm grateful that I can invest in myself, or this purchase is going to improve my life. That is how you rewire your emotions around money from fear to trust. I know a lot of us have negative connotations when it comes to spending money. As much as like women get this bad rap of like always loving to spend money and having fun shopping, which I'm sure many of us do, we also kind of feel that pang of regret or fear or anxiety when we go to pay for something. So I want you, when you are going to pay for things, right? I want you to use this sort of gratitude mantra that you've created for yourself. So create a statement that really makes you feel good. It's really important that the statement that you use resonates with you. And remember that every single solitary thing that you spend money on is an investment in your life in some way, shape, or form. I know it might be hard for you to see that. And if anyone has an example and they think they're going to stump me, you can add it down in the comments. You're like, I got a bill for this, Alexis, to explain how this helps my life. I will help you explain how that makes your life better, because in the end, everything that we pay for really is something that in some way, shape, or form is making our life better or easier. And so I think if we can start seeing every time we spend money in that way, you will start opening up your mindset that spending money isn't necessarily a bad thing, that it is an investment, right? And that you can start feeling comfortable with it. Okay? So that is belief number 7. I spend money in ways that support my well-being. Now, belief number 8, I have more than enough to share with others. So the challenge I have for this belief is for you to donate something. So give something away. It doesn't have to be money. Let go and show the universe that you trust that more is coming. Generosity is a sign of trust. When you believe that you'll always have more than enough, giving feels natural. So find something that you've been meaning to donate, clothes, books, home decor, and let it go with love. It's a powerful message to yourself and to the universe that you have more than enough to give things away to others. Belief number 9 is I can earn money in new and unexpected ways. So the challenge here is for you to sell something that you've been holding on to. And I'll be honest with this one, I'm sure that there's something that you have in your life that you've been thinking about selling or listing on like Facebook Marketplace, something like that, because you don't need it and you just haven't done it yet, right? So I want you to find that thing, list it on Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, eBay, wherever you can sell it, right? Anything is fine. I'm not going to tell you where to sell your thing at. And I want you to open yourself up to this new channel of money, right? Because I think we get very stuck thinking that money can only come into our lives in certain specific ways, like through our job or through our spouse's job or, through payments or pensions or retirement accounts and things like that. But right now, I think every single one of us has the ability to make, I'm not going to say instant money, but I think many of us have things right now that we could put on to like a place like Facebook Marketplace and make some extra money, right? Getting rid of something we don't need and opening ourselves up to more money coming into our life. And so I think that this is a part of the challenge, right? That is going to open you up to that. When you sell something that you no longer need, you're proving to yourself that money can come from unexpected places. And you're also clearing physical and energetic space for new things, right? So I want you to go ahead and list that item you've been holding off on, even if it's just $10, because it reinforces the belief that money is always available to you. And last but not least, belief number 10 is I always win with money. So the challenge here, this is one of my favorite things, is to play a game and practice abundant energy. Okay, so this is an activity I've talked about before with my Mastermind sisters. And this is something that I like to do because I definitely have this belief that I always win with money, right? So I'm the kind of person that if you play a board game with me, like Monopoly, right? I always win. I like always win. It's very rare that I don't win. And the reason is because I actually practice my money mindset manifestation stuff while I'm playing Monopoly, right? So I want you to play like a game of Monopoly or something like that, right? With your friends, your family, right? And what I want you to do is to start visualizing as you're playing this game. I want you to visualize yourself winning throughout the whole game, right? Like every time it comes for you to like roll the dice or pick a card or whatever the game is, before you do it, I want you to visualize yourself winning. And I want you to get this sense of calmness and confidence that you know you're going to win. So you don't have to be worried about what card you're drawing or what number pops up on the dice, right? Because very often, I love this example because very often I feel like, especially when you're playing like a game like Monopoly, it's very easy to think that if you're someone who always wins with money, that like every single action you take is going to have positive results. And that's just not true. Like it's not true in Monopoly and it's not true in life. Sometimes you are going to roll 3 doubles in a row and you're going to be sent to jail. Okay. Talking about Monopoly here, right? And you're going to think, oh no, I'm in jail and I'm now behind. And you're going to start panicking and thinking, how do I get myself out of here? What am I going to do? Now I'm going to lose. You see that bad thing happening, right? Happening as proof that you're not going to win. But when I play Monopoly, and something like that happens to me, because let me tell you, when I play Monopoly, I'm a roller of doubles for some reason. I really am always rolling doubles with dice. I often get sent to jail many times, more than once in a game. And somehow I still end up winning, don't I? Because I've come to see and learn and understand and trust that just because the outward circumstances might look negative does not mean that I'm still not going to win. This is the route to me winning, right? And that's the thing that we have to start learning to understand and know and trust, is that if what we want is to win the game, then we have to feel like we're winning the game, even when it looks like we're losing the game. I understand that this is a little bit of delusional thinking, but this is why I want you to play it, practice it while you're playing a board game, because there's like no stakes, right? If you lose Monopoly playing with your family, like nothing bad is going to happen to you. It's not like I'm telling you to do this with like the stock market right now, right? So you are able to practice while you are playing this game of Monopoly or whatever board game you're playing with your family. It doesn't have to be a board game, any game at all. But if you practice this visualizing yourself winning and seeing even like the steps backwards as being the best route for you to move forward and win, right? And you can hold that energy of knowing and trusting and believing you're still going to win. And when something bad happens, you go, oh my gosh, okay, let's see. This is exciting. Like, I guess this is my route to how I win, right? If you can hold that energy, you're going to find that you're going to win. You're going to win the game. And it's going to teach you how to actually hold the energy in your real life. Now, I realize that the game is not real life, and so it feels a little different. But I think that in our real life, we don't get a lot of opportunities to test the way that we're feeling like this. So I think that's why it's good to practice with like a board game. Okay. And that's why I think that this training has actually come at a very fortuitous time, because like I said, the economy is not looking so hot right now. Right. But if you can learn to hold the visualization of what it is that you want and know and trust and believe that you're still going to win, it means that you are regulating your nervous system so that you're not going to be triggered into an action or an inaction that actually creates negative results for you. Okay. So I hope this part 10 of this challenge, right, is a fun practice to help you regulate your nervous system. Because when you play a game like Monopoly with the intent to win and you can focus on staying positive and certain, even when the game gets rough, that is going to train you how to hold that winning energy no matter what is happening in your life as well. So those are the 10 beliefs, and those are the 10 elements of the challenge. Like I said, some of the things are going to be one-time things. Some of the things are going to be things you may want to do repeatedly, right? Like the mindset work, the sleep hypnosis. You may want to do those every single day. Even things like keeping your wallet and your purse clean, even playing the Monopoly, right? These are things that you can do on like a regular basis to help train yourself to hold the energy and the outcome that you desire. So I definitely want to encourage you to like repeat all of these actions as much as necessary, right? Or as often as you can, because the more that you do these things, the better you train yourself to be regulated. Remember, these aren't just like tasks, they are also energetic shifts, which is why they come paired with a belief that I want you to set as like your intention when you do the activity, right? So I want you to choose your pace with these actions, complete the challenge in whatever time period makes sense to you, and rewire your mindset around money. Now, if you found this challenge helpful and you're feeling inspired to continue shifting your money mindset, I want to invite you to take the next step and join me inside the Charmed Life Mastermind. This is my private membership community for women who are ready to create structure, elevate their mindset, and take aligned action to design a life of abundance on their terms. Inside the mastermind, you'll find a powerful library of custom mindset resources like daily mindset work, guided meditations, on-demand classes, workbooks, planner inserts, and so much more. These are the exact tools that help our members shift from fear and overwhelm into clarity and confidence and abundance, starting with their mindset. And if you're wondering whether mindset work really makes a difference with money, I need to tell you about one of our mastermind sisters, Jen. When the pandemic hit, Jen's hours at work were cut. She didn't know how she was going to make ends meet. She joined the mastermind hoping to find a way to stabilize her income, and what she discovered changed everything. She started with one of our simplest mindset practices, affirmations to expand her money beliefs. With consistency, Jen's energy shifted, and then something incredible happened. She manifested a raise at her job, unexpected but very real, and started gaining traction with her freelance business, bringing in extra income doing the work that she already loved and knew how to do. So within just a few months, she went from not knowing what was going to be happening with her financially in the future to feeling so much more confident and grounded and, of course, supported by money. Jen's story is proof that when you change your mindset, you can change your results. So if you're ready to go deeper and surround yourself with the tools, strategy, and the community support to build true wealth from the inside out, this is your sign. Join the Charmed Life Mastermind and start your journey to abundance today. Everything you need is waiting for you inside. I'll have the link down below in the description for you to enroll now. So those were the 10 powerful money manifestation beliefs that you need to have and the challenge that you can use to rewire your relationship with money. I hope you enjoyed this training and this challenge. I want to hear back from you. If you go through the challenge, if you finish things, let me know what results come up for you. Definitely keep track of what manifests for you as you're going through this challenge. I would absolutely love to hear it. So if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Leave me a comment down below and I will get back to you. If you enjoyed this training, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with anyone you think would find it interesting. If you want more of the behind the scenes of my productivity life and business, make sure you're following me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.